Guys on Wall Street and professionals outside this game. But in order to get in the college scene in Division One, you got to have a decent GPA. You got to have a decent SAT score. So again, for us, we typically look at 3.0. We want you to have a 3.0, but if you have a lower GPA, maybe around 2.5, 2.6, you're probably going to have a 1070 or 1050 on your SAT. Let's say you have a 900 on your SAT, you probably got to have a 3.2, 3.3 GPA, core GPA. You guys know what core GPA means? They take out all your PEs and all your electives and they count your only core credits: math, English, history, science, AP, yeah, all those courses. So they count those, and it's not UNC or FIU. It's the NCAA what they count. So they count your GPA and they balance it with your SAT, and that would determine your eligibility. So certainly when you're a sophomore, it counts the most. Your junior year, and then by the time you're a senior year, if you've already messed up academically, you could be in trouble. So you want to make sure when you're a freshman, sophomore, and junior, you take care of business academically, so that when you're applying to schools, you don't have much trouble. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, Kendall's not known for having the highest team GPA. I can tell you that. So if you guys now can be sharp with that academically, you guys will have more opportunities soccer-wise. All right. We actually have two players coming to us from Kendall. Alex Montesarde and Nicholas Hines. You guys know those two guys? Both from the U18 Academy. Both tremendous students. Alex, I think 3.7, 3.8 from Gulliver. Jesus Bolivar as well from Real Madrid. Some of you guys know. Excellent student, 4.0 student. So these guys were some of the best soccer players in Miami. They were also phenomenal students. So there's certainly a balance, right?
Do you have only Division One?
What's that? Here? Yeah, the whole athletic department is Division One, so it's school by school.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. So any other questions about recruiting or eligibility?
Yeah, one of the questions that some of the boys are always asking, being that, in the region that we are located down south in Miami, sort of like, I know it's another country for some of the coaches. How much credence do you give to the fact that sometimes I tell them, like, some of the best opportunities, if you're not seen in terms, is to try to get to some of these ID camps where you're actually being seen.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah.
And especially for the parents, because there's a mixed message in the sense that a lot of them feel like it's mostly done for monetary gain, which partly is true. Yeah. But there's an advantage to it. Can you elaborate on that for us?
So Miami is a different country, right? I love that country, I'll tell you that. I love the food, I love the city, so I miss it, there's no question. But from a recruiting standpoint, it's very difficult for colleges to get down there just because they're low-cap. You'll get your FIUs, your Florida Gulf Coast, your UCFs at your games, but you won't get anybody else outside of that, not much, right? So the idea is to get seen by as many schools as possible, to go to big tournaments, but sometimes you go to big tournaments, and what field are you guys at?
We're in the boonies.
West 10. There'll probably be very few college coaches there. You're at WRAL, there'll be more college coaches.
Sunday we play.
But now they do National League at CASL, so now a lot of the college coaches are going to National League, which is in Wilson. So it's tough when you go to these tournaments to get exposed, because there's 100 college coaches and they're going to see 600,000 games, right? So they're trying to spread it out. Now, the good thing about Kendall, they have a great reputation. So if you play for a club like Kendall, some college coaches will come to your game. But outside of that, you got to expose yourself as much as possible. One of those ways is ID camps. They're expensive, all right? 1 day, 2 day ID camps are usually around, I think ours is $175 per weekend. It's not cheap. We know it, and 100%, a lot of it is for monetary reasons. A lot of that money that those college coaches make out of that camp, they put it back into the program, and then that team's traveling and doing this and doing that. So there's no question, there's monetary reasons. But we probably, out of every single ID camp, get 1 or 2 players that we recruit out of. Maybe out of 50 kids, we'll recruit 1 or 2. That's actually a high number for a program like UNC. Whereas maybe lesser programs like Barry University, I don't say lesser, that's where I played, but lesser in terms of size and division, they have an ID camp and they may recruit 25% of their kids out of their ID camp. So those ID camps are huge. The best part about ID camps is you may go to the, let's say, University of South Florida ID camp, and there'll be 10 additional colleges there. So not just USF, but there'll be maybe they'll fly down Coastal Carolina, Maybe UNC will be at the camp. Maybe Georgia Southern will be at the camp. Maybe Jacksonville will be at the camp. So now you're being exposed to 11 schools at one camp versus one. The residential camps are expensive. They're anywhere between $500 and $700. Very expensive. But if you do have the financial flexibility to attend one of those camps, it's certainly beneficial. You just have to pick and choose. Are you flying to that camp? Are you driving to that camp? Are there additional college coaches? Every time a kid asks me about, like I coach club as well still, and they ask me, Coach, should I attend the UNC camp? And I ask him, well, what are you going to the UNC camp for? To be seen by UNC. I said, don't go to that camp to be seen by one school. You go to a camp to be seen by 10 schools, 7 schools. So you ask the college coaches what coaches are there, and that kind of helps you make a decision on what camps to go to. So obviously, you can't go to all of them, right? You just got to make it all work.
Well, someone like you guys at UNC that has a tradition of soccer excellence, you don't have to cater to the fact when you're bringing in kids, the name itself attracts players. Are you actually bringing other coaches to also to make it
we don't
more
do
interesting?
it. We don't do it to attract
Right.
more players, but we do it just to staff camp.
Okay.
Because our camps get our traditional 1-day, 2-day camp will get about 100 kids, but our summer camps will get like 250 kids. So we need outside staff to come in.
And outside staff is other collegiate
Right.
coaches.
And we try that mixed up between Division 1, 2, 3 junior
Okay.
college, because at the end of the day, not all of you guys will be Division 1 players. Not all of you guys will be Division 2. Not all of you guys will be Division 3. There'll be a breakdown of each category. So that's the idea: is to go to camps that, like Carolina or like any other camp that has different programs there, representing different schools from different institutions and so on.